Okay, y'all, this is gonna be a long video. Because I figured I would talk about how it's my 6-year anniversary of my stroke. So let's see, it was 2019, and in February of that year, I started to notice it didn't make any sense to me. I would walk to the bathroom at work. I worked as a newspaper person. I would walk to the bathroom and my shins would be tight. It was just weird and strange. And so, like, as time progressed, I would take the stairs up at my apartment and get to the top and be like, I'd have to hold on to my washing machine. And I was like, this is just weird. And so I'm terrible with months. April of that year, I flew out to California to see my mom and sister. And I remember me and Maddie were walking in like Ventura, down there. There's like also in Ventura up north from Los Angeles. But me and Maddie were walking down that pier, and I had to like take stops. I had to stop and sit, which I'm not like the healthiest person, but I had never really had to do before. So, and I was just like, I didn't have my same energy, and I had like really bad sniffles. We went up to see my mom, and I remember I had such like terrible sniffs and just sounded like shit. At like 2 a.m. she left her apartment and went and got me some medicine. I think that's when Walmart used to be 24 hours. I really miss those days. Those were so fun. Anyway, that's for another time. I came back from my trip with Maddie, and I still felt like shit, and I went to a doctor, and I found out I had pneumonia. And I don't really remember what you do for pneumonia. And I remember, like, going to this event that I covered for work at a school where they checked my blood pressure. But they said that I was, like, dying, that they really needed to go check it. So, like, I went to my doctor's office, and they checked it. And it was not like I was dying or anything. So, I don't really know. So, like, let's see. I woke up the morning of the 9th. Or no, it had happened that previous morning.
No, it happened the morning of the 9th. And we found you on the 10th.
Okay, so it happened on the 9th. It's heartbreaking to know that I was sitting there, lying there, and I couldn't get up anyway. So, like, on the 9th, I woke up. Something told me, don't shower, just get dressed, go. And so I went downstairs, and I threw my phone down, and I'm like, fuck. I remember I had a dream about Mr. McKee that morning. My old favorite teacher. It was like the 8-year anniversary of him being gone. Let's see. And I tossed my phone down, and I was walking towards the front door, and all of a sudden, I couldn't move. All of a sudden, I couldn't move, and I just peed myself, threw up, fell on my back, and laid there for 24 hours. And what really sucks is I had the volume on my phone on loud. And I was like, I could hear it ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing until my phone finally died. And I woke up the next morning and I could hear people like calling my name and I couldn't quite answer back. And finally, they kicked in my door, which was so frustrating because I had a secret key, and they kicked in my door. And they found me. And I remember them saying, 1, 2, 3, lift, and putting me on the stretcher. I remember them, the ambulance ride to, I can't remember what that hospital is, like right off the highway. This was in Brunswick County, North Carolina, in Charlotte. I miss Charlotte. I will totally move back there someday. But I remember that. I remember them putting me on the helicopter. And I remember them cutting off my clothes and taking out my earrings. And I remember getting to the hospital and this doctor asked me permission to do surgery. So I, obviously did not know at the time, my right hand wasn't working. Shook his hand like this. And things are really, really fuzzy from there. The only thing, like the first thing I remember, one of the first things I remember was my aunt and uncle coming down from like Chicago to be with me. And they took me outside for the first time. And living in such a tropical place, I was like, take me outside. We went out and came back in, and I was like, yay. And I remember, like, I hadn't, like, when you have a stroke, you have to, do swallow tests, where they make sure that you're still able to swallow properly and stuff. And, so, like, they had, like, these little tiny, like, were they like dinosaur shaped? Do you remember? I think they were. Those little water things you gave me that I wanted water so bad.
Oh, there might have been.
I think they were dinosaur shaped, but I could only suck water from those.
That was before your aunt and uncle came, though.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Aunt and uncle came when you were in the rehab.
Okay. Sorry. My sense of time is really fucked from that. And I remember that. I remember... It's all kind of blurry, but I remember starting to do rehab. And I remember, like, one of my first therapies, I shit myself. Because my system was all messed up. So that was fun. I remember, I can't remember his name. There was this nurse who was really nice, and he was like, because I guess my brain, it just didn't think about it. I forgot to just hold my pee, and I would just pee on the bed, and he was like, just hold it and wait for a bedpan, and I was like, ah. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I remember.
That you had to say goodbye.
Oh, apparently I forgot how to, like, say goodbye on the telephone. And I remember passing the swallow test, and food just tasted so good. And somebody who's no longer in my life really liked to help feed me food. And I remember, like, my coworkers coming up and visiting with me, and my dad and stepmom being there, and, like, FaceTiming with people who couldn't come see me. And I got so much mail. I had to wear a helmet for 3 months. Well, not almost 3 months, until they put my skull back on. But rehab was interesting. There was, oh God, there's just so much to recollect. I've definitely come a long way, for sure. I'm trying to think. I mean, like I said, I could write a book about it if I wanted to. Let's see. Some of the things that I have learned since my stroke. I guess I really miss regular showers. I haven't not sat on a bench to take a shower in 6 years. I really miss that. I miss walking barefoot. I miss swimming in the ocean, which I've not been in since. But, like, I put my feet in, but, like, actually getting in, I have not done. Thanks to my friend Dave for helping me fix my right foot. Because, like I said, for years, like, I wanted to walk a lot farther than I was, but my foot just hurt like a bitch. And I was just putting all this foot in my shoe that I didn't need, so I've stopped using that. And my reading stuff is coming along pretty well. It's still the tiny little sight words. They're just bitches. Sometimes it's kind of hard to hear with letters when someone's telling me to sound something out. Like, it's not always the most obvious thing like it used to be. I just miss it. I was like the king of grammar. Like, people would have me edit their stuff, and there's just so much I miss. And so now, like I said, I'm still a whore of a reader. So now what I do is I'm on the second book on the Austen Land series. There's only 2. I'll get the audiobook and I'll get the physical copy and read along with it. And then I have a book that Mom and I are reading now. It's like an Egypt mummy knockoff book. You know me, I love that shit. And it doesn't have an audiobook, so we just read it together, and she sits next to me for like 20 minutes, and she helps me with words I don't remember, and I came away from this with a completely new gender. Anything you want to add, Mama?
Nope. Your story.
I know. There's, something else. I went to this is like cut off to normal. Today I learned I've been collecting cans for months now for this lady who would collect them for her grandkid. And she was in the hospital a few days ago and she passed away. It just makes me really sad. May she rest and all that Catholic-y. I was raised Catholic. It's still ingrained. But I'm not practicing. I don't think I ever would practice again. But it is fascinating for sure. And tomorrow I have a housewarming party. And then Sunday is Mother's Day. That'll be exciting. And like I said, if you ever have any questions for me, I am totally an open book. Like I said, my arm muscles are really, really starting to wake up, which is awesome. So I'm back in OT for that. And I'm still in speech and doing really well in that. Like, what I'm trying to do now is recreate Darcy. Like, I'm rewriting what Darcy's letter to Elizabeth. I know before my stroke, at one point, I sat down and wrote it all out. And I swear, I sent it to my stepmom. I thought I mailed it to her. She said she never got it. Now I'm like, I'm gonna mail this one to her. She gonna get it. Let's see, what else? That's about it. I've talked for a long time, so thank you for letting me ram on and on. So, good night, love y'all. Bye.